Thank you so much. Can we just shift closer and maybe just check under your chairs if you possibly can? There's a business card of mine. Just look under your chairs. If you find a business card under the chair, so you need to literally lift up the chair. And if you find it, just lift it up. And okay, you found one. So I'm going to give this to you. If there's another business card somewhere, I think it's in this row. That's for you. That's a firm I worked on. Salutes Music. Oh, you found another one? There you go. That is for you. That is by my friend. She's seated there. That's a book she does for her business. Keep the business card as well. It's such an honor to be here. I feel so honored that Mr. Kahuhuena was talking about the importance of aligning and talking about leaders such as Jackson Kayewa, talking about musicians that has played a role in Namibia. And today, we need to honor that Papa is here with us as well. His face is painted on the National Theatre's art gallery. And it's such a pivotal moment, especially during the drought, that we honor Namibian artists, that we honor those that has paved the way for artistry in Namibia. When we talk about art, especially in Namibia, a lot of people tend to think about music. And I think also the room is filled with musicians, and I'm not going to step on anybody's toes when it comes to music. But as Africans, it is so beautiful when Shah said that there's always a click, and that is where we come from when we talk about the koi, the san. That is the beauty about who we are as Africans, because we're moved by sound. Now, for me, art is when I talk about the John Mwafangeos who's paved roles, where his artistry is now being sold in Europe. But how many Namibians own his own artistry? When we talk about art, is it the fact that I can really pay a $50 Namibian and come to an art talk? I've been to many so much. And previously, art talks has always been about legislation that needs to pass for artists. And that, I think that is what we're struggling with as artists. Why is there no law that's governing that I as an artist can register as, so that even if I am an MC or if I'm a comedian, this is the standard fee that we're being paid? That today is not going to be my focus. However, how to capitalize on what you're currently busy with and being as an artist. So, Popiani didn't get me a stand, but I'm going to open up my book because as an actor, we always go back to your script. I'm going to talk about 3 very important things, which is how to excel within your business, how to change the course of your business, because as an artist, you are an entity. And if you don't think about yourself as an entity, then this is not a way for you to go. And maybe for that person that really just wants to sit here and really start their own business. So many times we're told, we try as Namibians to be so many things for many different people, which is so wrong. Because many times, and I think sorry Linus that we're picking on you so much this morning, is that you're a doctor, you're a musician, you're a sister, and you do so many branches. And I think as men, that is also what comes with us. We need to go provide, we need to work, all these branches that add to us. So you said that Mitch says he asked 30 minutes, 12K. The first time I met Mitch, I was hosting the Nedbank first Kapana cook-off. And I've added that to my resume and my accolades to be the first Namibian that does everything for the first time. And when I met Mitch for the first time, his answer was, I want to be the first Namibian that is going to perform at Madison Square Garden. Trevor Noah has sold out at Madison Square Garden. Why can a Damara Nama born in Katatura, such as Mitch, not do the same? Lioness this year scooped 3 international gigs. Are we celebrating that as Namibians? Do we know about that as Namibians? So 5 things I'll focus on, and maybe if you've got a pen and paper, if you're recording, write this very down. The importance of networking, because my 8 to 5 is banking. I work for the First Rand Foundation. I do radio, 10 years of radio, which I just completed 2 weeks ago. I worked for the largest commercial radio station in Namibia, which is Energy 100 FM, proudly celebrating local for 5 years. Before that, I worked at Fresh FM 102.9 for 2 years, and my radio career started at KCR, which is now known as Base FM, which the foundation of it was to talk about social issues within the Namibian spectrum. The 5 things that I want you to take away today, and this is how to make sure that you build on lucrativity and also sell to corporates, sell to make yourself stand out. Number one, network. I met Popiani at the Professional Speakers Association about 2 months ago. And there's something that I'm also going to add within my presentation, which he spoke about. But the importance of networking. Then I was talking about branding, which Mr. Mukaroli will be focusing on. But it is so important to network. If I come and I say, you know what, Mr. Gweri, how are you? How's business? How are your socks selling? It is so important. It's important to ask Papa, what are you busy with now? How is it that we can use KCAC and Karitura to influence? It's networking. Hi, my name is Adriano. It's networking. It doesn't take anything away from you. As Namibians, I've found out that we've become so arrogant, and as creatives, we've become so arrogant, and that makes us complacent because people don't want to work with someone that's arrogant. Moreover, any corporate would not want to invest in you if you are arrogant. My second point is be in a position for yourself. So many times we do what we do within our artistry, but we forget thyself. We overwork ourselves. We split ourselves so thin, and you ask yourself, why? Be in a position where you wake up tomorrow morning and you've slept full 8 hours and you know you're ready to tackle the day. But if you are present in every moment and in everything you do, a corporate notices that. Someone that follows you notices that. Someone that can say, you know what, I had a conversation with Mr. Mukaroli, and what was so interesting is that he looked into my eyes and he was present. That lasts so much longer. Number third, be interesting. Why should you be interesting? Be interested. Be interesting is something that Popiani spoke about. Why should we be interesting? Why should we sell ourselves out there? Why should you post something that's attractive? Because that is what a corporate wants to invest in. Someone that's interesting. Be interested. I'll elaborate more on that because I think one can take away so much from that. So many times you get artists saying, no, we've applied to the Arts Council, there's no money. We know 3, 4, 5 years people ate of that money and there's just no trace of that money. What happened to that money? Now artists are suffering. But if you apply to FNB or any first rand, or you apply to ONL for funding, the importance of it is to get to know the company. Don't apply for funding in December. Guys, people are closing in December. Don't sit with a business proposition and now in January you're like, okay, companies are opening on the 16th. That's my proposition. No. Look at when they've got applications available. Look at when the corporate's financial years is ending. Very important. Look at a month before financial year ends. Companies splurge on anything, literally, on adverts. You just recently worked with Real Good Chicken, Advantage. Amazing. So it's so important to do research, because research shows one thing, and that is absolute professionalism. My fourth point is distinguish yourself from those that are doing the same thing as yourself. And during my 10 years in radio, I've always asked artists that come through for an interview, why is it that you've got an album with 20 tracks in Namibia? Where I literally go from one track, skip. Oh, okay, this is nice. This is different. Skip up until track 20. And that is so sad because that same artist has paid for studio time per song. That artist has paid for artwork per hour on 20-track songs. Whereas you can simply do what she does, release one song and work on a video and promote one song. And till today, Namibia still sings to Meme and to Dreams. And that is the beauty of it. Because once you've got that one song, people in Namibia can relate to that. On my trip to Burkina Faso and coming back, what was so beautiful was someone from Eritrea said, I honestly didn't know where Eritrea was. I knew it was somewhere in Africa. And she said, you come from the country where the sea and the dunes meet. Then I asked her, what else do you know about Namibia? You guys had a film about a Coke bottle that fell off the ground, and the gods must be crazy. And for someone that was born in the 80s to relate to such a film speaks so much about our country and what people can relate to. And I agree what Papa said, is that we need to start creating what's longevity. We need to start creating, because we're still the artists that is juggling an 8 to 5, yet our passion is what drives us in our artistry. But when are we going to be the artist that simply calls art our 8 to 5 job? And that is why we need to do what we're currently doing, to push for longevity, so that even 10 and 20 years from now, I can say Chicken created the first comedy platform, and it all happened at the theater school. My fifth and last point is competing and humility. So many times we want to compete in the industry we're in, but we're competing for the wrong reasons. In actual fact, you're not supposed to compete. Just simply do what you're supposed to be doing. Just do what you're supposed to be doing. If it's the music, if it's painting, if it's shoes making, you hear about Shilongo Leatherworks, the first leatherwork shoes that we had, and now everybody is doing leather. Now you've got Kova. You heard about, in Namibia, this is what I love. If someone is started vintage socks, everybody's doing socks. You can attest to that. How many people came and now everybody's doing socks. When I remember when we had wigs that were being made in Namibia, everybody flew to China, bought wigs. Now everybody's selling wigs. And it's interesting because you ask yourself, what happened to the collaborative work? Because how will be recognized as an industry if we don't collaborate and say, you know what, we're coming in this house and we all, musicians will sit here, performing artists will be sitting on this side, visual artists will be sitting on that side, collaborate on work on one project. You collaborate on work on one project, because why are we competing? How will the world recognize us? How will corporates recognize the unity in arts? Because the guys sitting and funding corporates, they don't know that's that. They just know an individual artist, and they fund individual artists, which is sad. The last thing, and I think this is what I'm so grateful for, and Shaz spoke about her mom, and it's sad, but it's the beauty of what one remembers from your mom. And I applaud your vulnerability to share the passing of your mom as well, Lioness. And my mom has taught me something so beautiful, and that is humility. To always be humble wherever you go. As an artist, and especially a developing artist, because I don't think I've arrived. There's so many people I want to still collaborate with in this room, is to simply have humility. The humility in your art will show. The humility in what you want to achieve will simply show. Therefore, if you've got all these 5 things that you write down, and I think for me, I meditate on it all the time, to come back and say, who am I? Because every point you reach, every stage you perform on, fulfills something within yourself. And you ask yourself, what next? As creators, we ask ourselves that. What next? 2019 passed, we survived. What does 2020 hold? So that's my message for you. And with all these 5 points, that is how you make your business, because that is what you are. You're not an artist, you're a business. Lucrative. Thank you so much.